Greetings and welcome to Enigmatic. I hope everybody is doing well on this Sunday morning. Just finished up running some errands and going to the gym. Had a really good workout. It was a conversation with a friend a very dear friend of mine at the gym. Made me want to kind of share a little bit of perspective. Sorry for the background noise. Let me remedy that for you real quick. Oh, there we go. I was like, it seems so much louder in here for me recording than it usually is. Oh, my air conditioner's on. Anyway, so last Saturday, not yesterday, but last Saturday, I had my car window broken out and my gym equipment stolen. And, it was only, you know, disheartening because one, it's my property that got taken and damaged. But also that I'm not really making a whole lot of money right now, so I just don't have to spend money when I don't need to. So like buying gym gear and things like that seems unnecessary. But the point is that there are things that can be replaced, and so it wasn't too huge a deal. I got most of the items back except for my parallettes, and I got the window replaced. And I was definitely very angry, but I had shared on a forum that I'm a part of because I let people know what happened, and they reached out, and I let them know some of my other feelings about this. And while some of these feelings are hard, it's something I really tried to align myself with. And that's that while this person wronged me, and it's not okay that they wronged me, the fact that they did something like that shows that I likely have more than they do in one regard or another. And so, by virtue of that, I have a certain degree of empathy and sympathy for this person that wronged me. Again, it's not easy to do. It's to the point that I kind of had a little vigilante fantasy about it, where cameras are easy to come across. It's easy to hide a camera in an area, and they all have really long battery life. I know about the time frame in which my window is broken, and I know my window isn't the only one that's been broken in that area. And so I could easily put up a camera somewhere, go pick it up later, find out what I'm up against, dress up like Batman, show up with some brass knuckles, a baseball bat, and a taser, and hide out in the alley waiting for them to show up. Right? I could really plot it out. But what does that get me except for a brief moment of reprieve from the emotions that I was feeling? Right? Like say I was actually gonna like follow through with that. What does it really do for me in the long run? It doesn't replace my window. It doesn't give me my belongings back. It actually just spreads more pain, and it spreads more trauma, and it makes it so that that person is more likely to do shitty things again because something shitty happened to them. They've already had a lot of shitty things happen to them, and that's why they don't care that they broke my window. And so, like I said, this is coming up because I had a buddy at the gym who I was telling about this, and he was like reflecting on his upbringing and some of the kids that he knew. And he reflected on how he knew kids that would do that same thing, or knew people that would do that same thing, and they weren't hurting in a certain way. And I let him know that yeah, they might like in a tactile way have more than me. They might have more money, they might be more affluent and whatnot, but they don't have the mental capacity that I do if they're still going to do something like that. So at the end of the day, they still get my sympathy and my empathy because they're still without something so much that they have to break my window. So I gave him like a hypothetical. I was like, say it's some CEO that makes like seven figures and drives a Tesla, and he broke my window. Like, he still has less than me mentally because he was still cruel enough and thoughtless enough to have broken my window and taken my stuff, right? And so I share this because I think that having these types of balanced perspectives can help the world to be a better place. Because yeah, that person wronged me. Yeah, I would like to get retribution. But at the same time, there's a bigger perspective that we can always look at in almost any scenario that we're in. And really, like, having these kinds of this type of temperance within ourselves can hopefully help make the world a better place. Because unfortunately, we live in a culture that, people will think, for example, I went through such and such, so like you need to go through such and such. Why are we okay with just, translating our trauma to other people just because we went through it. I get misery loves company, but that is one of the most hypocritical things in the world. And I can't take a hypocrite seriously. So this is a short one. I hope you enjoyed it. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, share with friends, family, whoever. Be good to you, be good to others. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.